This is KGW News at Sunrise.
This morning, more than 200 officers in Texas are searching for a murder suspect accused of gunning down 5 people, including a young boy. We'll have the latest coming up.
I'm like, no, don't be heading for those guys.
And you probably remember this video that shows a boat appearing to run over a group of sea lions on the Columbia. Now there is a reward for information on the driver.
Also this morning, we're celebrating a special anniversary, the 25th anniversary of the cat adoption team in Sherwood, also known simply as CAT, C-A-T. I remember when they were just getting started. I think back then they were called Kitten. Again, it's the cat adoption. Thank you, Christine.
Nice joke.
It's Monday. Cat adoption team, again in Sherwood, 25 years old this very day. We'll have more from the cat adoption team coming up here in just a moment.
Okay, and we'll get to that, yes, in just a moment. But for now, a live look at the Markham Bridge. It just reopened about a minute ago at 5 o'clock on the dot. I-5 South on the lower deck was getting some inspection work done through the night. Drivers got detoured, but now it's business as usual.
It is a Monday morning business as usual here on the Sunrise Show as well. I just did some research during that last commercial break. Yes. Found out that this is the first time the 4 of us are together on this set since March, and that's not an exaggeration.
Is that right?
Yes.
It's May 1st.
We did not spend one day together in April.
Wow, that's crazy.
And I don't know if anyone was complaining. Anyways, Rod Hill. Rod, I meant amongst us. They, of course, can't get enough of us. Rod, weather forecast on a Monday,
Like
May
he wants
1st.
out.
I'm ready to go, man. Is it my turn?
Yes, go, shoot.
Okay. All right, we have clouds, we have showers kind of scattered across the eastern part of our state. Everything moving from south to north. We have a little bit of rain up off the coast of Astoria and around Long Beach. Basically, here on the west side, this is going to be a day very similar to what we had on Sunday. We have cloudy skies out there. There may be some patchy drizzle not being picked up by the radar. We're at 53 degrees, so moving forward, mainly traces of moisture out there. I have us about 59 degrees or so at noon. Might see the clouds thin. I'm not sure later today. Temperatures for a second day in a row will be in the mid-60s, and that's your forecast.
All right, Rod, thank you very much. We'll have more from you coming up here shortly. Right now, our top story this half hour. The manhunt for a murder suspect in eastern Texas is now in its 3rd day. Texas authorities are looking for this man, 38-year-old Francisco Oropeza. He's accused of shooting and killing 5 people, including an 8-year-old boy. Officials say he burst into his neighbor's home with an AR-15 rifle and opened fire later Friday night after he was asked to stop shooting the gun outside on his property. So they also believe that Oropeza was intoxicated during the shooting. Over 250 officers from over a dozen agencies are actively searching for him. They were able to recover his cell phone, abandoned clothes, and the murder weapon, but search dogs lost his scent. The FBI and Texas Governor Greg Abbott are now offering $80,000 to anyone with information that leads to his arrest.
And back closer to home, gun violence is ending the month of April in Portland on a deadly note. Police say 2 people were killed in the Centennial neighborhood on Sunday. For more on this, we bring in our Devin Haskins. And Devin, this month saw a fatal shooting every weekend.
Yeah, correct, Christine. And in total, by our count, 8 people died throughout the entire month of April. If the medical examiner, who makes the final determination on any cause of death, determines that these latest are homicides, that means these latest deaths would mark the 27th and 28th homicides in Portland so far this year. So for reference, Portland saw 34 homicides last year by this time. The latest deaths happening around 3 o'clock early Sunday morning on Southeast Nagale Drive in the Centennial neighborhood. When officers arrived, they found 1 man dead after a shooting, then found another man dead about a half-mile away. The suspect or suspects took off before police got there, so no arrests have been made. One neighbor we spoke with, who asked to remain anonymous, said the shooting happened right outside her home.
I heard the shooting from underneath the balcony of my room, but I couldn't see anything. When the shots finished, I was able to see a car that left really quickly.
She tells us that her car was also hit by a bullet. Police are asking if you have any information or you know anything to give them a call. Drew.
All right, Devin, thanks for that update here this morning. Also this morning, we're hearing from the family of a man who was shot and killed Friday night in Northwest Portland. They're hoping that someone will come forward with information about the shooter. Here's KGW's Daisy Caballero with more.
We want justice for our brother.
Leon Wilkerson is pleading for answers after his older brother, James Rogers Jr., was found dead after a shooting late Friday night off Northwest 17th in Irving Street. What have police told you?
So far, nothing. I guess they're still investigating.
Police say when they arrived, they found 2 people injured, James and another woman. James suffered life-threatening injuries. Officers and EMS paramedics tried to revive him, but he died at the scene. The woman was transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
No words can really describe him, to be honest.
I think we'd be standing here doing this.
James was the oldest of 5 siblings. His brothers and sisters describe him as an excellent writer and artist who loved his family and daughter Whitney.
Anything can change at the drop of a dime. You just never know. Just if you can see your family, see them, talk to them, let them know you appreciate them, get your time in while you can. Because this was really unexpected, so.
Police say the suspect or suspects left the scene before they arrived. As of Sunday afternoon, nobody has been arrested in connection to James's murder.
That's honestly what I want people to know, like, say something. Like, we still out here with the killer. That don't make no sense.
Daisy Caballero, KGW News.
Other headlines we're tracking this morning. Gresham police are asking for help finding this missing 13-year-old. His name is Amar DeWeese. He was last seen around 8 a.m. on Sunday, April 29th. He's black, 5 feet tall, and 160 pounds with short black hair. He sometimes goes by the last name Nyland. Amar has been staying at the New Avenues for Youth Rockwood campus on Southeast 165th Avenue. You're asked to contact Gresham Police if you have any information. Clackamas County Sheriff's deputies shot and killed a suspect after a car chase. Just before midnight Saturday, there was a shooting near 82nd Avenue in unincorporated Clackamas County. The victim survived, even pointing out the suspect's car to deputies as it was leaving. Authorities chased the driver to Southeast 172nd in Happy Valley. They say the suspect fired at deputies and they fired back. That person died at the hospital. The deputy involved in the shooting is on leave during the investigation. And 3 teens are in custody this morning after running from police through downtown Portland Saturday night. Officers initially responded to a carjacking just after 1 a.m. in Vancouver. Police used GPS to find the car on Southwest 5th and Hall here in downtown. Now that's when police say the 3 teenagers ran. Officers say one of them tripped and a gun fell out of their pocket. Officers arrested a 16-year-old and 2 17-year-olds. They each face several charges. And those are your Monday morning headlines.
And remember this video? It shows a boater appearing to target dozens of sea lions on the Columbia River. A Portland man got his camera out near Hayden Island on April 3rd, got this footage. And you know, it didn't sit well with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA. It's now offering a $20,000 reward for information on that boater. NOAA says it's illegal to physically harm seals and sea lions. The boat is described as a 19 to 20-foot aluminum Hughescraft Pro V Sea Runner, if you're familiar with those types of boats. It has a dark blue stripe on the side, too. Contact NOAA if you have any information.
Yeah, that video did not sit well with most of our viewers either. All right, Rod Hill back into the mix here for us on this Monday morning. Rod, I took off last week to enjoy the first 70-degree day
yes,
and 80-degree days of the year.
And depending on where you were, the first 90-degree day. Some areas hit 91 on, I think Salem made it to 90 on Friday.
Wow.
But today, back to normal.
Yes, we are. Mid-60s, and that is pretty much considered normal for the first day of May. Going to be an interesting week to see what type of moisture we end up with or do not end up with. This upper level low was approaching yesterday. It's the reason we got the marine layer of clouds in yesterday morning. It's the reason we've cooled off. So it's the same system. I expect today overall to be very similar to yesterday. But the low is going to continue moving to the south and eventually down into California, and that's going to increase what we're already seeing. And that's kind of a return flow from south to north of moisture moving up across our area. And eventually we will get into a thunderstorm threat from that low. Here we are right now, just showery weather around Baker City, running up the east flank of the Cascades. A little bit of light moisture showing up on radar up around the mouth of the Columbia River. And there could be some patchy drizzle out there. Remember, the radar beam goes from its site up in Scappoose, then shoots up higher and higher and higher. So often, if the moisture is just really low, which the drizzle is, coming from a low cloud deck, the radar doesn't hit it. And you look at the radar, nothing's going on, but you step outside and you're like, hey, it's wet out here. So that could be going on this morning in some spots. Upper 40s currently in Salem and Kelso. 53 is the number in Portland. Here's Futurecast. This shows at 9 o'clock this morning, the green specks would be some traces of moisture, pretty much cloudy skies. Here we are at 6 p.m. this evening, a batch of moisture. This would be rotating from south to north up around Mount Bachelor. This could be some heavier showers, it looks like, at 11:30 tonight, rotating through the valley. And then tomorrow, a partly cloudy day, which will allow us to warm up a little bit with this ongoing threat of some scattered showers and maybe a rumble of thunder. This shows at 9 p.m. tonight. There's what could be a thunderstorm north of Bachelor. You wouldn't expect this to perfectly time out these storms, but it does show you the overall pattern. Here we are Wednesday at 5:30. More of what could be thunderstorms working up the Cascades, the pinch eventually perhaps moving into the Willamette Valley. So we'll keep an eye to the sky in the coming days. Low to mid 60s for a high today in McMinnville, Salem, Corvallis. Similar numbers with generally light winds up through southwest Washington. 64 today, more of a partly cloudy mix tomorrow. 71, 75 Wednesday, the storm threat. And then the next cold front coming in on Sunday with a temperature of only in the mid-50s right now with more widespread rain. And that is your forecast. Mr. Carney.
And now, Rodney, we're going to let this show go to the cats. Cat adoption team is what we're talking about on this Monday morning. That cat right there goes by the name of Ginger. Ginger is available for adoption. And not too far from Ginger is a second cat in the shot named Applejack. Applejack is 5 years old, we're told. Again, both cats available for adoption at the cat adoption team in Sherwood, which today, this very day, is celebrating 25 years. We'll have more on the adoption process at CAT coming up in just a minute.
And we do want to remind you that you can watch Sunrise anytime on KGW Plus. All of our news is on Roku and Amazon Fire. Just look for KGW and add us to your home screen. Then you can stream Sunrise on your schedule.